Hi, my name is Kelly Ross, and I am the Academic Support Counselor in the upper school at Knoll School of the Holy Child. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about the summer slide and how to avoid it. And first, we want to acknowledge that it is very important to rest, relax, and refresh after a busy school year, and students certainly should take time to unwind. But we also know that the past school year, although it was more of a typical school year than the prior one, some students are still recovering from the effects of COVID and disruptions to prior school years. So we want to talk about what students can do to make up for any losses and also just to stay sharp over the summer and school ready. So summer slide is also referred to as summer learning loss. And one of the first comprehensive studies on this phenomenon was published in 1996. And this study and others suggest that students can lose on average about 20% of school year gains in reading and close to 30% of school year gains in math during summer break. And these percentages tend to be higher among elementary school age students. So, what can we do to avoid summer slide or summer learning loss? We can spend some time over the summer getting organized, exploring areas of interest, and just preparing or previewing for the school year ahead. And doing some of these organizational and exploratory and preparatory tasks can help students maintain key executive functioning skills that are needed for success during the school year. So we're going to talk a little bit more about each of these in the next few slides. So certainly over the summer, it can be a great time to just kind of get organized, and most students look forward to purchasing school supplies, but I think it's also a great idea to figure out a good workspace in the home during the summer and also find a planner or calendar app that works for students. And then one way, again, to work on these executive functioning skills is to create a schedule for summer events and activities. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And as far as purchasing school supplies, I think it's great to look for sales over the summer, since a lot of times these supplies can add up, and see what you have at home already and check out discount centers or dollar stores before purchasing from some of the big chain stores or from Amazon or another retailer online. And I think it's really great for students to take ownership of this process and figure out a space to keep their supplies. It doesn't have to be in a bedroom. Maybe it's a corner of a kitchen or a basement where students can focus and be accountable. It's also great to have a bulletin board or whiteboard for reminders and places to keep supplies tidy. So I think over the summer, the whiteboard can be used for reminders, and students can kind of get into the habit of using this space over the summer. And they can work on summer projects. And this is actually a great way to support executive functioning skills, to practice organizing and planning. So maybe students can help plan out a family trip or an outing and figure out what supplies are needed. They might be able to plan out a budget or help with that. And some students might even want to tackle an independent project. So, for example, my son wants to build his own Ironman suit this summer. So we told him that he needs to come up with a prototype or blueprints, take measurements, figure out materials. So all these things take planning. And if he has some practice doing this in a space that's comfortable to him, then hopefully that will transition well into the school year. And again, giving students choices to pursue their own interests, but providing them with some structure and support can really help them practice essential planning and executive function skills necessary for school. So if they plan and execute a project in their workspace over the summer, hopefully they'll also know if the workspace is a good setup for the school year. And again, if they're working on a project, they can use a planner. A paper planner is great, especially for younger students who get very easily distracted on their phones. And over the summer, they can keep track of sports practices, maybe any music lessons, babysitting jobs, trips, camps, all that kind of stuff. And again, get familiar with that app so they're not scrambling to figure out an organization system once school starts. So another thing that students can do to stay school ready is to spend some time practicing skills in these areas, math, reading, and writing, to help prevent summer learning loss. However, it's really important to make sure that these activities are manageable in these areas, so maybe 15 to 20 minutes at a time. And we also want to make sure that these activities are as fun as possible. We certainly do not want to add stress over the summer. So these are just a few ways to have fun with math over the summer, and these are just a few sites that are well vetted and have great videos and games for students. And again, since students can lose up to 30% of math gains over the summer, doing some review or preview can really help prevent that summer slide. So on all of these sites, students can pick their grade level or subject level, subject matter, and they can select topics and play games. And they can also do some other work with math in the summer, especially if they're going to a camp that offers robotics, or if they have some kind of daily activities that they need to budget for, they can work on that, or even setting up a budget, like I said earlier, for a trip and figuring out distance between destinations. Those are kind of fun ways to add math into some of your summer experiences. Another skill that's important to practice over the summer is reading. And we recognize that not all students are avid readers, but really reading anything is better than nothing to help prevent summer learning loss in this area. So even if it's comic books, song lyrics, magazines, Oak Knoll has a great summer reading list, and local libraries also have reading lists available. Doing a book group with friends and meeting up to talk about the book can make it a little bit more fun and enticing. And even listening to audiobooks can really help to expand students' vocabulary. So audiobooks certainly are very important, especially for reluctant readers. And if students do have trouble with comprehension, they can check out some of the interactive exercises on IXL.com that are linked here in the reading exercises. So writing may not be at the top of everyone's list in the summer, but just like anything, writing gets better with practice. So finding fun and stress-free ways to write over the summer can help strengthen students' skills in this area. So a few ideas for stress-free writing include a dialogue journal, and this can be done on paper or digitally, and students can write back and forth with a family member or friend, either on a daily or weekly basis, and that can kind of be a fun way to communicate. These video writing prompts are really fun and creative ways to jumpstart the writing process. Writing old-fashioned letters to friends and family, whether again it's via email or on paper, can be a great way to keep in touch. And again, if students need to practice any writing skills on IXL, there are some fun and creative ways that they can shore up on grammar or writing mechanics on that site. So again, it's important for students to really just spend some time with family and friends, relaxing over the summer, but it's also a great time to explore interests. So Oak Knoll School offers several courses that are a great way to build skills, preview content, and stay sharp. And so that link is provided here to those courses that are still available. And even just doing things like volunteering or teaching siblings, cousins, or neighbors a new skill, like how to play guitar, how to play tennis, how to draw cartoon characters. This is kind of a fun, low stakes way to practice presentation and public speaking skills. And again, researching something of interest and creating a product is a really great way to hone those executive function skills, because that planning is involved. So parents can really help children map out a plan or a timeline for their project, whether they want to write a story or create or build something. There are steps involved. So having conversations with kids about the necessary steps is a great way to strengthen those skills that students will need for long-term school projects. So recipes is a great way also to practice reading directions, following steps, and again, interviewing family or friends and creating a recording or transcript as a memento can be another way to practice those conversation and even public speaking skills if the student wants to share that. So these are just some ways to prevent the summer learning slide, and reading for 20 minutes a day is really critical. So students who read 20 minutes a day score in the 90th percentile on standardized tests, whereas students who read 5 minutes a day score only in the 50th percentile. So there's a really significant difference there. So finding fun ways to practice writing skills, just engaging in conversations rather than zoning out on screens for hours and hours a day is a great tip. And learning new words through reading is really going to help students when they return to school in the fall. So we hope everyone has a wonderful summer and learns something new. And we look forward to a great start to the school year in September.